So we're going to get straight into the topics that they want to talk about. And the first one is looking at AI as a tool versus a program. And I think Mario is going to kick us off with this one.
Yes, absolutely. I think one of the main points that we discuss with all clients is basically the first question is always, what is like the best tool to purchase right now? What is like the best technology? What is like the best thing I should be doing today? And I think the mistake comes from, being used to use, a certain set of tools and a certain set of tactics over the years. And we have the perception that right now what we need to do is just basically use AI the same way we use AI. We use, other digital tools or other digital marketing tools in the same way. So for example, what is like the best keyword tool I could use today? What is like the best, maybe content tool I can use today? What is like the best dashboard I can set up to measure and understand the results of what I'm doing? Unfortunately, this is not the case with AI because AI is still in development. We don't know what the landscape would look like in a couple of years. As you remember, when ChatGPT was brought to the market, was a completely different tool. For example, think about the image generation that was like ugly a couple of years ago, and today it's capable of potentially, create really good quality images, and there are also already directors that are pitching and releasing movies entirely done by AI. So in a couple of years, you can see this huge switch and shift into really good quality products. So my first point that I always try to make, even if it's counterproductive for me and even counterintuitive as a content person, is basically don't focus your attention on which is the right tool. Instead of finding a tool, find the right partner. Meaning, a tool can become obsolete in 6 months. A tactic can become obsolete in 2 months. As you know, this year, potentially, OpenAI is going to release ads within ChatGPT. So everything will change. All the tactics that we understood in the last year potentially will shift because now with like the GEO, LMO, visibility, AIO, however you want to call it, with ads is going to be completely different. As you can see, Google is following on at the same piece, also like releasing the context protocol, the e-commerce protocol, and potentially also with ads. I don't know what is going to happen, but for sure they're going to reply with something also in that scenario. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying, AI is going super fast. The magnitude of the shift is pretty huge. So it's pointless to focus the attention only on a specific tool or on a specific tactic or strategy. You should find the right partner to work together with you, and a consulting partner, a company, an agency, someone that can guide you through all these kind of major shifts and work together on a bigger picture strategy. Because at the end of the day, this AI shift will stay for years, and we don't know what it's going to look like. The only thing that we know that you need experts in guidance. So I know that it's counterintuitive, and in 2026, I've heard many clients receive the mandate from the senior management to find the good tool or to be forced to implement AI in every workflows. But again, my suggestion, even if we in TransPerfect develop tool and develop a lot of things, is not focus only on a tool, but try to find the right partner, because this will dramatically change again in the next 2 years. So it's better to find the right partners to brainstorm together, find the best way together how to react to everything, instead of relying on a single solution or a single tactic.
And to me, in these days where things can change even every day, right? So you really need that flexibility and fast iteration, and the things can move or do move so fast that you need to be flexible in the approach. So with that partner, maybe you draft a strategy that allows you to move quickly depending on how things go. You might stick to a tool, and the tool is obsolete soon, or ChatGPT or Gemini or Anthropic or whoever launches a new feature, and then that tool that you were using is significantly cheaper or is out of the market in 1 day, right? So you need to start small, iterate, be flexible. And one of the things of AI as well is that it allows us to test many more things than before. So in software, we have been doing A/B testing for many, many years. Now you could test new things every day, every hour, every minute, because the ability how systems connect to each other, and the capacity that you have and the skills with AI to move fast enables you to go very, very deep on testing and try to personalize, for instance, content to the reader as much as possible. And there are many, many options there. So flexibility and iterating fast to me is key, besides what Mario was saying.
Yeah, Mario and Diego are spot on here. In my world, in the paid media world, buying a tool is honestly the easiest part. But it's usually just like a static fix for like a brief moment in time. I see it all the time. Like a company will buy this flashy new AI dashboard, and then 6 months later, it's gathering this dust because the market moved and the tool didn't. The problem is that the platforms that we live in on the paid media side, things like Google Ads and Meta, those platforms are anything but static. They change the rules of the game all the time, and their algorithms, they literally change overnight, all the time. So if you have a tool, you're stuck with whatever it was programmed to do yesterday. You're effectively fighting today's war with yesterday's map. But when you find a partner, you're getting that strategic muscle that you need. You need that in order to actually pivot when a shift happens. It's about having somebody in the trenches with you who can look past all of the raw data and see that specific tactic, is it hitting the ROI that we need? And then make that adjustment to the strategy pretty much immediately. We talk a lot about fast iteration. We're going to be talking a lot about that today. And so to me, that means that we just can't set it and forget it and then like hope for the best, which I think a lot of people are thinking AI is going to do. That's not how it works. We start small with a focused goal. We execute with precision, and then we maintain that flexible mindset to change course based on what the market is actually telling us in real time. A tool is a great way to give giving you numbers, but it can't tell you why a campaign is failing, or more importantly, how to fix the human element behind it. So a partner doesn't just give you a login. They actually will help you build the exact roadmap that your business needs in order to actually win in a very, very uncertain landscape right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also the thing with tools is that you have to know how to use them. So even if it was the perfect tool that had all the solutions you needed and had all the features that made sense and were up to date with all the platforms, if you don't know how to use that effectively, it's not going to be much use for you either. So that's the other risk with buying a tool. You then need to spend a lot of time learning that tool, and by which point, you know, things are, like you say, out of date. So good. First tip then for everybody is find a partner, not just a tool. Excellent work.